Hi everyone, and welcome to Mixed Media Frenzy. This is the amazing original by Annette Gellingser, and I have probably murdered that name, but we've done, or I've done lifts of her work before, and she's simply amazing. I love the subtlety of this with the kind of the monochrome look and it what looks like stamped flowers and leaves and some like thread here, the little words coming down the side of the photo. And I actually was starting to set up to do something like this with a black and white photo, and then my granddaughters went out. Katie was taking Allie to get her wisdom teeth pulled, and somehow they stopped by a waterfall in Roswell, at Roswell Mill, and they took a series of photos. I think Allie's, a friend of Allie's took the photos of them, and I just absolutely fell in love with this one. And I tried printing it in black and white, and it was cute, but I really like this one, and I did a filter to kind of cartoonize it a bit, just because it seemed to really emphasize those great big smiles on their faces. So I saw red as a color, and then there's the kind of orangey red of the dirt and the green of the fall foliage kind of behind them, the greens and oranges and yellows. And so I thought, okay, that just really looks a lot like the collection I'm obsessed with at the moment, which is fernwood. And I think there's some ferns actually visible in that photo. So I'm going to go, I've just kind of littered my desk with everything fernwood. What I'm going to do is, I kind of like that paintbrush look, so I'm going to try applying Distress Oxides in 3 different reds: Candied Apple, Barn Door, and Fired Brick, and kind of using some spritzes of water, and I have no idea how this is going to turn out. I have never done this before. I'm going to try to have one strong, dark, high intensity one, and then have it kind of ombre down to a paler color. And I'm going to blend these reds as I need to get the color that I think would be best. And I'm trying to match not only the Katie's shirt and shoes, but also the collection and the reds that are in it. There's let me see if I can find it in here. There are the reds in the toadstools, and there's a floral red that's really vivid in here. This is really nice. And as you can see, it's not that red, but I think if I put the photo there and then I kind of have a collection of greenery and so forth around, it should be fine. What it does kind of go with is this color in the dirt. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I've got this tray of ephemera. I have all the rest of the collection kind of off this way. I've got a few stencils and stamps that I may do. Instead of these cross signs, I'm gonna stencil, where did it go? Here we go. I'm gonna stencil ferns. I'm gonna do one fern kind of going that way up at the above the photos, and I'm going to turn the stencil over and kind of go this way and let this be the backdrop to the other greenery and florals that I'm going to build up in that cluster. So we'll see how all of that works out. I've got foam on the back of this. I've backed it with 3 scraps of pattern paper that I had used on a previous layout. So you can kind of see the introduction of that color that's going to show up in the florals. So I'm going to put that there. This stencil came with fernwood, and it has 3 butterflies, and I've taped those up with washi tape because I don't want to use them right now. And I'm not going to do that until after I've brushed those on. I'm just kind of checking, see if I can picture how I want that to go that way and this to go this way, and I think that'll balance, and it'll give us that kind of L-shaped curve. Okay, so having said that, let's get with this guy. I'm going to go with the candied apple first because that's the color of her shirt, and I'm going to just kind of do this, and I know that when I add the water, it's going to tone that down, and I'm going to kind of go on out here, and then I'll add layers. I'll let it kind of go out there. That's the area where the color is going to be. Now I'm going to intensify and kind of change the tone, particularly on this one. I think the water that I'm planning to add will help that color. Now I'm going to really tone that down and let it be pretty intense there, and then kind of go out like that. Okay, so now let's see what we get when we do a little bit of water spritzing. And I don't want to do a whole lot because I don't want to have a whole lot to dry. Okay. See, that is kind of bringing that color out, and it's exactly the right color in my humble opinion. So I'm going to let that kind of settle a bit. I had thought I might touch it with the paintbrush, but I think I'm not going to. I think I'll put these things aside because I don't think I'm going to use them again. And I'm going to get my paper towel. I've got things all over the place here where they don't belong. So I don't want to add any blue to that. It's really not my plan. So let me go. Okay. That has really watermarked it nicely. It's given it kind of an ombre look like I wanted. And I believe the photo is going to look great on there. Okay, I'm going to really blot this up because now I need to do some, what I will be doing with this actually is I'll wet it in a little bit and do some splatters. In fact, let me do that now. I'm going to, how am I going to do that? I'm going to use this as a background. I'm going to kind of spritz it with some water and then kind of do that. That gives it an interesting spray, not exactly the nice big drops. This is not my normal way, as you know. It's not my normal way to splatter, but I don't hate it. So, and it kind of is going to show out here above the photo, and I think the fern will look great. Speaking of the fern, my intent is to do the fern in texture paste. I'm going to do it kind of like this. Let me kind of blot up all the wetness. Okay, so let me go ahead and do the texture paste, and I want the texture paste to extend beyond the colored part so that it's into the white. And it's going to pick up some of that Distress Oxide ink on there. And this one, I kind of want to be maybe a little more careful with, kind of make sure it gets full coverage, because this is the one that will show. The other one's going to kind of be covered up, form a backdrop. I'm not going to cover it up completely, but there's going to be a lot piled on top of it down here. And I may actually do the one down here in a different medium. I may do tone on tone. I may take that barn door red, that really brownish, the red that has the most brown in it, and do this, because I think the greenery would look nice against that. But this is what's standing in for those plus signs in the original. Okay, there. And it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, now what I have to do is quickly clean the stencil. And I don't necessarily want to do it with a lot of water. Actually, why don't I do it like this? Just kind of clean it and make a slight impression. And then when I get out here, do some of this. When I get out into the white, I'll just take whatever's on the paintbrush and kind of go through it. And if it looks bad, then, and it doesn't, I like that. You don't see the white part at all, but I'm gonna step out for a second to get this in some water, because I want to save the stencil. Okay, I'm back. And I'm going to kind of let that dry, but I can't, because I can't pull it up and put it someplace else because it's taped down, and that's intentional so that I stay in frame while I have my new intermediate interim before I pull the trigger and spend some money on a new setup. I don't think I can put anything on there yet, but what I can do is kind of set up something to kind of hold I'm going to use a piece of pattern paper kind of stuck right in there to start building the cluster. So, and I'll try to do it up in frame. And I'm going to lay this kind of right there as so that you can see the example as I'm working with it. Put a little bit of adhesive on there, and I'm just going to do that. Okay, now, the first thing I wanted to add in was some greenery, and there's remember, I'm going to have those words kind of going across there, but it's okay for the greenery to kind of be a backdrop. And I'm okay if some of this shows through. I may do some, let's see, I want some foam there, and I have some foam tape, very little of it. But I'm going to lift it up, and then this is going to be on some more foam. So there will be some dimension from the background. So there's that, and then I wanted to use this, and also there's here. There's this, let's see, let me put this right here, and this here. Okay, and this will be on 2 layers of tape. Okay, and I guess I should get this in frame. The texture paste dries pretty fast, especially when I put it on as thin as I did. To do that way, and then this will be on 1 layer of tape, and I want to be sure to get a mushroom toadstool in there as well. That works. And then I've got another fern that can go this way. And I've got some stamps that came with fernwood that have some of the same leaves and florals. Let's see. Let me get that the other direction there. I'm just kind of, by inserting that in there, I'm just lifting it up from that little background. So now I want to start getting some that's going to be under the photo, so it shouldn't hurt too much, but I do need to wipe it off the, that's exactly what I did not want to do. And this piece of ephemera is torn. I don't know if I did that when I was opening the package or what, but I'm going to tape that here. I also have some wood veneer leaves that I think would be cute in there. Let's see, we do want the toadstool, but I'm not quite sure where. Maybe right there would be cute, but I think there needs to be some greenery in there. I want some greenery to extend out, so I'm going to do that with this. I've got the tape in the wrong place. I'm holding the flower head together, but I'm going to put some there to kind of get it underneath here. We'll kind of go down like that. So that's kind of barely holding together there. I have a couple more. There's this nice long one that I thought would be kind of cool coming out that way, but I don't know that I need that much of it showing. Maybe kind of like that. And for that, I'm just going to add some liquid glue. And if I need to, if the expanse of my cluster isn't what I want it to be, I thought I could use some stamps and either fussy cut the images from the stamps or whatever. Here's a pretty blueberry cluster. That could maybe go right there. I like that. And I guess I should get that up here. I'm kind of being careful of that. I guess I could do it over here because you can see this. Let me move this over here, and there's not any texture paste there, so I'm good. And hopefully, this is on the dark side of things, and I apologize for that. I have another lamp that's in a different room that I thought I'd bring over and set up over here, but I don't have a long enough cord for it at the moment, so I'm off to get one of those. Okay. There, that's good there. Now here's my toadstool. There is another toadstool, and there's also now I absolutely love these tennis shoes, so maybe I could do the tennis shoes here and the toadstool maybe right here overlapping that tennis shoe. I like that. Okay, we'll get this on here nice and solid. Okay, and then this is going to overlap on there, and I'm going to have it on some foam. Maybe a little too much foam there. Okay. And so that's my photo cluster at the moment. And I think it's got enough spread. I don't think I need any stamping underneath it. And I'm actually going to add some more foam to the back. Let's see, I'm going to dig into my foam supply, and I'm going to tape the foam on at first, and then tape it to the, I'll put some tape when I go to the, to put it on the background, but then I'll also add some liquid glue just to be sure that it adheres. Okay, so I think we might want it that way and have the photo at a little bit of a tilt. And now I'm going to sit down. I'm going to curl these things up. And I may add a couple layers of, I'm going to wait and see what I end up tucking in there. Well, actually, let me go ahead and put a little bit of foam back behind there to hold that up. Okay, now I'm going to sit down and we'll do some of the embellishing with smaller bits. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I absolutely love that because it goes with the kind of the mood of the photo. Okay, let me see if I can get through this mess that's on my desk. I have several wood pieces. In the original, she's got a wood veneer word, hello. I've got the word thankful that could kind of fit in right there. I'm going to lift this up more so that I can slide the thankful in there and not have the greenery right down on top of it. But I do need to kind of tuck it in there a little bit. I'm going to put this right here and there. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of, and what I'm thankful for here is that these two girls have become so close again. They are, many of you know the story, but they are former stepsisters. And when Katie's dad and Allie's mom divorced, they remained sisters. And I kind of like maybe doing these here and then maybe like that somewhere kind of over there. I have this thing that says friendship is spending fun times together, and that would have been cute down there, but I kind of like the thankful, and there are a couple reasons for that I think Scrappy Adam understands one of them. In the original, she's also got a word there that's in black and white, and I kind of thought this might fit. This is an ephemera phrase from the collection. I want it to be tucked down in, but with some height. So let me give it the height. And I have a couple more bits of greenery that I'll use. I'll maybe kind of tuck it right there. Okay, and that doesn't hide too much of the mixed media. It actually kind of, oh, here's a maidenhair fern. Is there any way I can use that? That might be a bit much. I'll save it for another layout. That's gorgeous. Okay, the next thing I for sure wanted to add was, well, I guess the important things that I want to add. I want to add the plus signs, just to have a nod to the plus signs. So I've got my new favorite stamp and stencil set from Tim Holtz, and it's got these 3 little plus signs. I have another stamp, I believe it's a Vicky Boutin stamp, that that has kind of a grouping of plus signs, but I think this might work. What I'm going to do is put it on the very edge, because I've already got quite a lot of dimension going on here, and I just want to maybe do it lightly and kind of around. I'm going to pull these off for now because they would add some additional bulk there. So there's that. And then I'm going to do a secondary one right there. And then I'll do another fresh stamped one, maybe here. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do, and it's just a nod to the plus sign inspiration in Annette's original. Okay, so the next must-have on here is this dragonfly layered sticker. There is a kind of, it's this same flower right here with, and it's on a shiny surface, so the color's a little bit more vivid, and it's got this vellum dragonfly that you can kind of fold the wings up, and it's got a foam dot right there. So now just finding the perfect place to put it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe here where I had these, I was thinking about these wood pieces, or maybe up here, kind of tucked into the here and now. Okay, yeah, I'm going to do that, and that kind of brings that a little bit up to a point. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and then we'll do some of the smaller embellishing. But I definitely wanted to get that bit of red in. Okay, so that's there. And I've got some green sequin mixes. Let me put that so that it's more down on the, with the, there's not so much busyness in the background there. And I'll just layer that one on top there. Okay, here's my journaling, which says, I'm so happy to see Katybug and Alligator become so close lately. And I have some foam tape on the back of those already. And I'm going to kind of slide it in here. And then I've got an alligator here that I have some word phrases I wanted to use there, but I think I'll just use the alligator and a ladybug, a katybug. I've got this kind of orangey one, or I've got this red one. Let's see how this looks. There's a greenery, I think that's a sticker behind it. Yes. Let me see if that works in the spot. Maybe kind of putting the greenery right there. It's gonna kind of overlap that. I'm gonna put this back and use it for something else. It's just such a cute idea, but I'm gonna go fairly simple with just a ladybug there. I'm not sure I like those there, so maybe over here in conjunction with the journaling. There's that, and I'm going to do a little bit of foam on here to pop it up above the level of that journaling. So that it can overlap without bending. And then we'll see if I have any other. Let's kind of do it that way. Okay, I like that much better. And then I've got some chipboard. Where's the chipboard? This chipboard has some phrases that are perfect. There's loving every minute. And I kind of like that idea. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue behind it because it is, after all, chipboard. And we know it'll come unstuck. So let me kind of do that right here. And then I've got such a great day.